Well, hi ho, everybody. Welcome to the Stratosphere Lounge. I'm your host, Bill Whittle, here on the. You know what I hate about on the 12th of December, in 2018. Seems like we would have been a little more. I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? Anti-gravity by now, I think. Hope everybody's doing well. It's good to be here. And hello, Foghorn. And yeah, so I'm going to have to enforce a short show tonight. I know you always hear that every time. I don't think I've ever done a Stratosphere Lounge where I didn't say this was going to be a short one tonight and then go on for hours and hours. But this one also, I know we were a little brief last time, but this time I'm going to have to do an hour and then stop. And the reason is because I am just treading water as fast as I can, and I'm getting washed downstream. It's really overwhelming sometimes. This just the volume of work that has to get done up for to basically run this little business with the help of our great office manager Shelley, and then and Scott Ott, who's been doing so much tremendous work behind the scenes, and Captain Jackson and a bunch of other people. But basically, it's a one-man show here, and I keep expecting that during this week I'm going to have time after I get the Bill Whittle Now shot, Witcher shot, and the right angle shot, Witcher shot. I keep telling myself I'm going to have time to get some other stuff done before the end of the week, and it never happened. So it turns out that I am married to the best person in the world. Hi, honey. Just before the show, I was saying, I don't know how I'm going to get. Yeah, it does look like I'm moving in. By the way, somebody commented on that. It's another example. I'm going to have to get all the clothes out here and take them out of the back room. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I would do without her. I mean, she's the best person in the world. And I just called her just before the show and told her, this, and I said, I don't want to be late coming home, and I just, I haven't got our Christmas tree lights up yet and all kinds of things. And she said, Bill, it's okay. We'll do them together. We'll do them when it's fun. Just relax, and I just, it's nice to be able to talk. It's nice to be able to talk to my wife directly like this. So if you're one of the 2,000 or 3,000 people who aren't Natasha, then thanks for playing along. But it's great. I'll show you some of the things that I've got that I haven't had a chance to play with you. If I'll show you right now, hang on. Got all this awesome stuff, and I've been wanting to get it here for about a year now, and now I've got it. I've had it for 3 weeks. I have not yet had a chance to even. I've unboxed it, but that's about it. I haven't had a chance to try it on. But I'll just show you this because it's just so beautifully made. Made right here in Miami, Florida. I know this seems like a really heck of a contraption, but this is the perception neuron motion capture suit. It's not really a suit. A lot of people sew this into like a unitard or something, but this is just a series of straps. But what's really cool about it, it's just beautifully made. The case is beautiful. Everything about it. It's just stunningly well put together. The whole thing basically operates, this is it right here. This is the actual thing that coordinates the motion capture. And Dave Big Booty says he's getting kinky. Exactly right. This is sadomasochism for Star Trek fans. But what's really cool about it is this. If you look at all of these things, this is like a headband thing. And then you've got shoulder bands, and then really incredibly nicely done, the packaging and everything. And I don't know if I'm not going to go to the trouble to get them out. But then there are gloves, and they have sensors on each one of your fingers. But I knew that the sensors were coming with the kit, obviously. But what I didn't know, I thought these things would be about like this big. But look at this. Tell me this isn't just amazing. Okay, so those are what should be, I haven't counted them, 32 sensors. And, look at this. These plug in on the head, on each one of the fingers, arms, joints, knee joints, feet, and so on. And this little thing, one of 32 of these little things, you pop into the suit, you protect them in this anti-magnetic case because they're pretty sensitive to magnetic field influence. But those little things have, inside them they have solid state gyros and accelerometers, kind of like the iPhone does. And basically that means that that tiny little, each one of those is called a neuron, which is, this whole thing was a Kickstarter project. A guy down in Miami is building these suits. And each one of those tiny little interchangeable neurons is capable of measuring acceleration and rotation. And so when you've got 32 of these things at various key points around the body, and once it's been calibrated, which is a 30-second step, you hold dead still, and then you get a T pose, and then you go to like an A pose, and then you do kind of a half crouch with your arms in front of you, calibrated, off we go. And then any movement that I make after that gets recorded as a series of frame-by-frame digital information for the skeletons. Steve Darrow, that just really appealed to me. If you haven't been here for the live show, it's awful fun being able to do the show live. But Steve Darrow just said, solid state gyros, luxury. Yeah, my motion suit had 320 vacuum tubes, said Dave Big Booty. That's exactly right. I needed a little cheering up today. I tell you, it's just hard. And Petunia has that effect too. There's just so much to do. And Natasha and I talk about this all the time. I can't really remember it. I know it's true, but I can't really remember it. There was a time, apparently, when I was bored, and I would watch TV and think of a way to kill time or something. It's been for 3, 4, 5 years now. I can't even understand that world, let alone connect to it. But Natasha says the same thing back in Russia. She says time passed so slowly, and here things move so fast, and it's just hard to get done in a day what we need to get done every day. In any event, this suit is tremendous, and it's really inexpensive too. I mean, it's a little over $1,000, which may not sound inexpensive, but the next one on the market is $9,000 or $10,000 or something. And so what this does is it allows me to basically act out. The peanut gallery today is just on fire. Because Dave Wellman has a Yakov Smirnoff joke, which is going to be funny to everybody except for my wife, who probably isn't going to get it because she's not real familiar with him, and I've been too embarrassed to introduce her to Yakov Smirnoff. But D.P. Wellman writes, "In Russia, time passes you," and that's just great. Anyway, this ability to capture biological motion is what makes animation look real. I just did some more tests. I've been doing tests for a year now on trying to hand animate all this stuff. And there are people that know how to do this. But a computer will, if my hand is here on frame 1 and my hand is here on frame 30, it'll just go perfectly smoothly, and your head turns perfectly smoothly, and it is absolutely robotic. given an enormous amount of time and real skill that I don't have, you can manually produce lifelike motions and even hyper lifelike motions. If you look at the animation on, what's his name? Is it Scrag? I cannot recommend this highly enough. I want to make sure I get the name right. Well, I could ask for help, but let me try it. Let me see if I can find it on YouTube here. Hey, he's going to show me how to import a character into Dev Studio. What is his name? Scrat. It's animation from Ice Age films, and I haven't seen many of them. But what is this called? I think it's spaced out. I'm going to the trouble to find this because it's worth it. Yeah. If you have a moment, or even if you don't, just write this down. Scrat, SCRAT. Spaced out. Scrat spaced out. It is Pixar animation. I don't know, actually, it's not Pixar. I don't think Ice Age, but it's hand animated, and in the same way that the classics were hand animated, just burst out laughing, funny, like Roadrunner and the Coyote. The motions are so exaggerated, and they're so fast, and they're so much the opposite of what rookies like me are able to do with keyframing thing. Like I say, everything is mathematically averaged, and you can do it so you decelerate into a point and accelerate out and so on. But Scrat spaced out is hand animated every frame, and it's just bloody hilarious. It's just unbelievably brilliant, and I have a lot of enormous respect for that. But that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to make people look like real people. So just wrap this little section up. I am trying to do a demo test, and I'm trying to think of what I can do without getting into too much of the facial motion capture, which I also have some. Yeah, you know what? It's a demonstration show, so I might as well demonstrate some stuff, just because it actually looks pretty cool on camera. Assuming I can find where I put this thing. I have to skip this one till next week. You can tell that the here we go. Okay, so check this out. This is pretty cool. This is another investment I made in this, assuming it's got some juice left in it. Probably does not. Okay, well, I'm not having the very best possible day today, so I'll get that thing charged. I'll show it to you next week. We had a short show anyway, but anyway, I've got here with this iPhone that has the facial recognition features on it, so that you can just look at your phone and it lets you in. And they've tried to beat that by using twins, by using photographs. Finally, somebody made a plaster cast of her head and then painted it accurately, and the iPhone recognized that. But the reason this particular iPhone 10 is needed is because it got stereoscopic vision, plus there's an infrared sensor, so it's feeling the contours of your face. And there are a number of apps that just basically are looking at your face, and it doesn't need markers or anything. And whatever you do with your face is what this thing does. And presumably, all of this just gets translated into the machine, and then just you hit the render button and off it goes. But I haven't had a chance to put that kinky suit on yet, and sometimes it's just very frustrating. I was going to do this tonight, but since we got a short show, I'll probably just go straight to questions. My wife is always so much better judge of everything than I am on these things, and she says it's good to move through as many questions as you possibly can, and you can thank her for that, because I'm too dim-witted to know these things. But I was going to talk about something. I'll try and talk about it next time, and that is the whole life on Earth thing, and I'm so tempted to do this. I really am. Uh, okay, Bill, look for the question from Jake Sorticus. Very important. I will do that. Okay, so anyway, it's just kind of cool to be able to act out all the characters. And what I was trying to say is, just as a demo of the motion capture, I've got a bunch of characters, and I've got a really good computerized set for air traffic control center at this space station. And I have tried to hand animate people standing at positions and working at counters, and I've had some experience with this. And what I get is a guy going like this. It's awful. But with this motion capture suit, I should be able to record just something relatively manageable. It should be able to record 10 seconds of me standing in one place, doing one thing. That's one character and gets loaded onto that character's motion capture, that character skeleton. Then I can have another character sitting in a chair and talking on a radio and using the computer, and the thing will type out, will follow my finger moves. So if I type the actual keys, it'll do that. That'll be cool. So if I just have 10 seconds of people basically in a room and they look real, even if they're not having a big interaction with each other, that'd be a big step for me in, because I think I'm the last of the one-person pundit shows. I know the Blaze and CRTV merged. If you think that I'm sitting here defiantly, turning away offers from these guys, I'm not. I'd love to be working with one of them. But as more and more people, as the market and as time evolves, what's happening is more and more people are either going into one of the big things like Daily Wire or CRTV or something, or they're getting pushed out completely because this suppression of the videos has been just very effective at eliminating free voices. So anyway, yeah, and Gavin McGinnis is gone. I don't know any of the details of that. I know a little bit about it. Maybe that's the question I'm supposed to pay special attention to. In any event, let's go ahead and get on with some of these questions here. I'll pull this over here so I can hopefully look at both at the same time. It's always good to be able to see my my YouTube, my Twitch comments. And I love Twitch, by the way. This is so much better than Ustream. I don't know what it's like on your end. There's once again, there's 10,000 things I'd wanted to do here. I wanted to have, get some new music in here and do all the rest of it. But just there isn't any time. So anyway, let's go down and look at the questions, and we'll take a look at that question first. What was the what was the thing I'm supposed to look at? I'm sorry. It'll come back. Can somebody remind me who I'm supposed to be? Is it Sorticus? I'll look. Why don't I just look? Your humble narrator is in a little bit of a daze today. I had a visitor in for lunch, and just a terrific man, a real patriot, works for the Border Patrol, and had a fun hour with him. But I couldn't put two thoughts together. And by the way, when I talk about the government, I'm talking about the government as a faceless, mindless thing. There are so many people. Obviously, technically, everybody in the military is paid by the government. So when I talk about overreach of and immortal bureaucracies and things like that, I constantly forget to say how much respect and admiration I have for the people actually doing these jobs, and today was no exception. Border Patrol is a thankless job. I'm pleased to find out that morale is higher there now with Donald Trump than it was previously. But there's still all kinds of problems. It seems like every third show I do now is about the border, and those are the ones that do all the big business too. So, okay, here we go. Let's go find the questions here.